guys, I'm Leonard.
And I'm Rutland.
And we're live at the ISS World Expo in Las Vegas, and we're going to go around to our partners and get their perspective on the state of the self-storage industry.
Hey guys, so we're here at the ISS World Expo. I'm here with Rohan from Self Storage Manager. So nice to meet you, Rohan. So we're going to ask a few questions about the self-storage industry. So first of all, how is the show going for you guys?
Honestly, the show's been great, and over the years, like people have been saying, like with ISS, like it's a show for like new entrants and all. But for us, like it's been a good show for like introducing new opportunities. Like people are stopping by saying that they want to build new properties, and or they're trying to like they're thinking about building a property as well for the first time. And honestly, sometimes you never know, that one property can turn into an opportunity of like tens or hundreds or thousands in some cases. So it's been a good show, like a lot of good positive dialogues, a lot of productive meetings, a lot of interactions with vendors, both old and new vendors. So it's all a series of opportunities, in my personal opinion. So.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And then, so where are some things that have like really stood out for you in the show, and maybe some trends that you're seeing at the moment?
Sure, yeah. I mean, as you're aware, like a lot of people are very gun shy about like what tariffs are going to do to the industry, whether it's in the build market, the acquisition markets, and so on. And the other thing too is from a technology perspective, and even from like a consumer facing perspective, a lot of people are talking about automation, AI, and stuff like that, or the ability to bring more data and all. So it's been really enlightening to see what these sessions or what these new players are offering about it. Specifically for us, we're also trying to figure out ways to like really tailor to those who are trying to go unmanned and remote, cut costs and all. So really introducing efficiency and proper ways to like visualize and extract data. So we've been a big proponent of like working with like different operators and different like vendors too, to really show that there's like a lot of opportunities and a lot of different ways to like access and harness the data for like intelligent metrics and all.
Sure. No, that's a really great answer. Thank you. And then, so what is maybe like the best way to compete as an operator?
Yeah, so the best way is like really understanding your market. So for example, like you have like a lot of like competitors that may offer a pricing strategy that may undercut the pricing strategy that you might have and all. But sometimes it's all a matter of tactic, Sometimes people can say, oh, we're offering like a certain price that's like 50% off compared to your competitors. But is that 50% really a rent increase that might happen after 3 months, or is it offered as a discount? So it's really like all about strategy and tactic, but it's also about improving the customer experience. What do you offer that others may not? Do you offer the ability to like really access like your unit and gate and controls and all in like a very expedited fashion? Or do you have like other ways of catering to your clients, like basically a proper set of instructions on how to access the facility, but then also the customer lifetime value too, of like what can one do to like really make use of like other services? Like, do they have like 24-hour access? Do they have like different like tiered plans of like either committing up front for a couple months before they get like a promotion, or getting like additional like amenities and all that stuff? So it's really about like understanding your market, but how do you price and how do you like offer and how do you even like advertise those amenities?
No, really great answers there. And would you say that the US market is oversaturated?
It depends on how you define oversaturation. Like if you're talking about like the acquisitions market in terms of like acquiring, some people may say it is so, but when it comes to build, it is a tough market to build in right now. You will see that there are a lot of facilities in like certain markets, but then you're also seeing like other markets where there may not be like enough facilities, right? So I think really taking advantage of those kind of markets to see like where you can build, because while the buying market has been saturated, I feel like there still is opportunity for build. But then, of course, like with the whole tariff situation that's going on right now, it's one of those things where it's like, start building now. Don't wait till like 6 months. Don't wait till 8 months. So,
no, that leads me to my next question as well. Then, so what are things operators can do in light of the tariffs and a softer market?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, it's all about data. Like being able to like leverage the data to like really detect how trends have been in the past. This is not our first rodeo in the industry, right? Like we've seen like different like loops of like recessions, or like thriving in the economics of things, or even like taking advantage of like some downturns and all. Sometimes a downturn can be good for certain businesses, it can be bad for other businesses, right? But in this case, like if you're trying to really get ahead of the whole impact of the tariffs.
Yep.
It's really understanding like what history has shown us in the past, right?
Yep.
Because this isn't the first time that aluminum, like price of aluminum or even like price of steel has been increasing as a result of tariffs that can then impact like the ability to like build doors and things like that. So it's really trying to figure out whether you start building now versus building a couple months from now. Because a couple months from now, the market conditions can be even more adverse.
Yeah.
But as long as you start building now and start using the data to see how much ahead you can get, I think that's the most important part of taking advantage of things.
Yeah, no, definitely makes sense. Thanks. And then my final question. So what impact will tariffs have on self-storage? Obviously, it's a lot of speculation, but what do you think the impact will be?
So it can definitely have impact in terms of building at least several months from now. But I think now that people are starting to see like tariffs taking place, that's where it's better to get ahead, as I mentioned, like in terms of like starting to do the activities now. Now, not even just in the building space, but even like in technology as well too. Like, for example, when it comes to like hosting and stuff like that too, like cloud computing costs and stuff like that, that's going to start to increase because where do you host? You host in like a cloud. Where's the cloud hosted? The cloud is hosted in data centers. Data centers can start like really getting impacted and all for those kind of things. So in terms of like being able to like basically host software or build self-storage facilities, or even being able to like offer supplies, like whether it's like locks and all that stuff, all that has raw materials, right? And all those raw materials can get easily impacted by tariffs. But as long as like people can make use of like the different data points to like really predict how can pricing be adversely affected, this is one of those things where you start trying to price high now to get ahead of it, and make sure that you can set the expectations now versus getting impacted too late, where you can like lose a lot of like margins like later on by not taking advantage of the pricing. Just like how you price a storage unit, it's also the pricing of like different raw materials and goods and like mid-level goods too, to make the final finished goods and all. So it's really important to kind of like make sure you can use like the predictive trends and all, or historical trends to really get ahead of that. So.
Okay, excellent. No, thank you so much, Rohan.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you too.